2 weeks ago, I posted a survey video in which I provided a list of 11 common prepping categories and also a list of 11 primary colors. And I asked you on the prepper community to let me know the color that you associate with each category. As a lot of you know, I like organizing all of my gear into various compartments, and I usually have them labeled and color coordinated. Although I haven't had any kind of rhyme or reason to the exact color that I've chosen thus far. So what I wanted to do is standardize the list of colors that I use for my own personal organization based off of the results from you on the YouTube community. So I provided a list. Here's a list of all the different categories that I had for the survey. So I had the big three: water, food, shelter. Then we had first aid, fire, comms and navigation, tools and weapons, hygiene, cooking, clothes, personal, and miscellaneous. Had over 1,000 of you that filled out the survey, and each category seemed to have a standout winner for the particular color that was chosen. So what I'd like to do now for this video is go through all the results and show you the percentage of you that voted for each particular color for each particular category. So let's get started now with this video called The Color of Prepping. The first prepping category that I like to go over is for water. And what I mean by water is actual water in addition to methods of purification. So as you can see by this bar chart, there's a clear winner here, and that is the color blue with 976 votes out of 1,040. So going here through some of the percentages and the actual votes, 96% of you felt that blue was the color that you associated with water and water purification. A small amount of you, about 3%, voted for white. I imagine that's more having to do with if water's clean, you're going to see it as clear, and maybe white was the association there. But predominantly, 96% of you voted for blue for water. So the official color for water is blue. The next category to go over is for food. So as you can see by this bar chart, the winner for this category is the color green, followed by brown and then yellow. Let's look at some of the individual votes here. So as you can see, 418 of you felt that green was the color that you associated with food. I imagine that might have to do with green vegetables, maybe, as a color that you would associate for that. So it looks like it almost doubled what brown was with the second place. So the official color for food is green. Moving on to shelter. So for shelter, I meant tent, sleeping gear, anything like that. So as you can see by this bar chart, the winner here is the color brown, with almost 350 votes, followed by green. So food and shelter seem to have either green or brown associated, but brown was the leader with shelter and green was the leader for food. So let's go look at some of the percentages. So 35% of you felt that the color brown was the association for shelter. Maybe that has to do with a shelter being on the dirt, for example, and dirt's brown. So that's the only thing I could really think of for that. So the official color for shelter is brown. The next category to go over is for first aid, so bandages, medication, anything like that. And as you can see by the bar chart, the clear winner here is the color red, with almost 90% of the votes. There was a few colors that had a few votes in here, but predominantly it was for the color red, which makes sense. A lot of the first aid kits that you'll see at the store are going to be in the color red. Kind of generally means an emergency for most people. So looking here at some of the specifics on the colors, that 89% or 910 votes were for the color red. There's a few for some of the other colors, but they're all in single digit percentages. So the official color for first aid is red. The next category to go over is for fire, so methods of making fire. And again, we have a clear winner here. With over 60% of the votes, we have the color orange, followed by yellow and then red. So let's look at some of the specifics that you see here. So with 63% of you voted for the color orange, 17% for yellow, and 12% for red. I imagine that if you didn't, but for most people, they voted red for first aid, so then the next logical choice was probably orange. So, but again, the clear winner here looks to be orange, so that's going to be the official color for fire. The next category to go over is for comms and navigation. So by that, I mean things like radio, signaling devices, illumination, anything like that. And again, we have another winner here, although it's a little closer, but with over 25% of the vote, we have the color yellow, followed by gray and then white. And that kind of makes sense a little bit. For example, for signaling, you want to get someone's attention. Taxi cars are usually in yellow because they're the brightest color, the most noticeable. So I imagine that that's why that one might have won for this particular category. So let's look at some of the specifics here. So with 26% of the vote, we have yellow, followed by 16% for gray and 15% for white. So by over 10%. So the color for comms and navigation is yellow. The next category is for tools and weapons. So knives, multi-tools, saws, firearms, ammo, self-defense items, that's all associated with this particular category. And as you can see here, the clear winner is the color black. So the majority of you voted for black for this, followed by gray and then brown with a very small percentage. Let's look at some of the specifics here. So we have over 58% of you voted for black. And let's see, we got 17% for gray, 6% for brown. Most of the tools that you see, a lot of knives are always colored in black. Firearms are usually black. And so that looks to be the clear winner. So the official color for tools and weapons is black. The next category to go over is for hygiene. And so for hygiene, I mean things for cleanliness, sterilization, sanitation, anything like that. And with almost 50% of the vote, we have the color white, followed by pink. So looking at the specifics, let's see, we got 49% of the vote, or 495 individual votes for white. Let's see, pink had 23%. I imagine that most people chose white for hygiene because, if something's clean, it's usually going to be white. And if it's dirty, it might be a darker color. So the official color for hygiene is white. The next category to go over is for cooking. So with cooking, I mean stove, pot, utensils, anything like that, fuel for the stove. And so this one is a little closer of a race, but we have a clear winner coming out again. The color gray was actually the winner here with over 200 individual votes. It was neck and neck with purple, brown, and yellow, all which had 1 to 150, but with over 200, the color gray was the winner. So looking here at some of the percentages, we have 21% of you voted for the color gray. I imagine that's due to, most silverware or pots and pans are usually going to be a gray or even silver in color, and I imagine that that's where the primary association went with that. So the color for cooking is gray. The next category to go over is for clothes. And by clothes, I mean things like a poncho, hat, gloves, socks, anything like that. So this was a closer race, as you see here. Many colors had votes for him, but the clear winner here is the color purple with almost 250 votes, followed by gray with a little over 150, and then brown and pink seem to be neck and neck as well. But purple was the winner here. I wasn't exactly sure why purple was chose for colors, but Miss Urban Prepper did a little research because she actually associated purple with clothes, and she did a little research here, and it looks like the color purple is often associated with royalty. So let me just read a little text here. There's a very strong correlation between the subject of royalty and the color purple in the scriptures. The word royal means that which belongs or pertains to a king. The children of king are said to be his royal seed. The clothing of a king are his royal apparel. And so there's a lot of association, it seems like, with royalty and the color purple. So maybe that's why purple was the clear winner here. I'm not sure. That's just a hypothesis, which was brought to my attention by Miss Urban Prepper. But so it looks like the official color for clothes is purple for royalty. The final prepping category that I had is for personal and miscellaneous items. And by that I mean it could be basically anything. Phone numbers, documents, morale items, maybe money, office supplies, anything like that might fall into that catch-all category. And this one was very close. As you can see, the winner here is the color pink, the final color that was included for the primary colors, followed closely by purple. But since we already had purple for clothes, pink is going to be the winner here. It looks like the third place was gray. Let's look at some of the specifics here. So pink with 26% of the vote, 252 individual votes to be exact, was the winner. I imagine that most girls would love that, and most guys are just going to absolutely hate it. So maybe for your own individual prepping color associations, ladies, you'll want to use pink for that, and maybe guys, if you really have a strong hesitation to using pink in anything, maybe this is your part that you could put your digital camo or something like that. But as far as this particular survey went, the winner for personal and miscellaneous items is the color pink. Prepping pink. That's going to do it for this video featuring the color of prepping. I'd like to thank everyone that participated in the survey to help determine which primary color is most commonly associated with each of the prepping categories that I had listed for the survey. I feel this is going to be very helpful for my own prepping kits. It'll allow someone possibly to grab the right module or compartment just based off of the color of that compartment alone, which is determined by the associations which all of us contributed to as far as this project goes. So you guys can feel free to use this color standardization for your own kits. I'm definitely going to be using it for all future projects. I have 2 videos actually coming up which I'm going to be using the color standardization that was determined in this survey. So please feel free to leave any kind of comments below in the comment section, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video featuring the color of prepping. See ya.